Hello and welcome to another Miss Alley Cat DIY video. Today I'm going to show you how I make this adorable Valentine's Day heart corkboard. I hope you enjoy, and if you like this kind of video, don't forget to pounce on that like button and hit subscribe.
Okay, so taking one of these do-it-yourself wood signs from Dollar Tree, we're going to use this as our stencil for our first heart. And taking some cardboard, I'm simply going to place the heart on the cardboard, and I'm going to take a pencil or a pen would work, quite honestly, and I'm going to trace around the whole thing to go around the string. You could just cut the string off if you wanted at this point. Go ahead and cut this out. We're going to need several layers of cardboard. You can also use foam board. So I'm going to use this X-Acto knife. I have this cutting board underneath so as to not hurt my table, and because it's small I am going to do it in sections. I'm just going to very slowly cut the shape of my heart out.
I found it helpful to use a combination of an X-Acto knife and some scissors. You can just use one or the other, but like I said, I found it helpful to use both tools.
So I ended up cutting out 4 cardboard hearts for my project here. That makes it the width that I want. It doesn't have to be a specific width at all. However, this is, I would say, a little under an inch wide, an inch thick, I guess is the technical term. So a little less than an inch thick. I just wanted it bigger than my sequences, because we're going to put these on the outside edge and I definitely want to be able to see them. Okay, so taking some cork board and our wooden heart, now we're going to trace out the shape of this heart onto I'm just using a marker. It's kind of a thick tip on there. It doesn't have to be this exactly. I just wanted to definitely be able to see whatever I mark on my corkboard. I want to be able to see it. So I'm just doing this slowly just so that it doesn't move. Doing a combination of pushing down really hard and pulling my razor blade, and little motions of pushing down into the corkboard. You also can use scissors. Just find whatever works for you. So here is our cut out corkboard heart. And now let's put it all together and start decorating it. Alright, so I do have my hot glue gun on, but I'm just going to start gluing the cardboard cutouts with just a regular old glue stick. You can also use Elmer's glue. And then I'm going to use some hot glue just to attach it quickly, and so that I know it'll stick together and stay stuck. So very quickly, I'm just going to put some hot glue on this first heart. Does not have to be a ton at all. And very quickly, I am putting on my heart, pressing it down. going to be gluing our wood onto our cardboard that we've got here. And to do that, basically going to do the same thing, only I'll be using some more hot glue. And you could definitely use Elmer's because it is technically a wood glue, but it takes a little bit longer to dry than hot glue. Best you can. Press it down. Just because I have some more of this Elmer's glue and my glue stick is getting pretty thin, pretty light, I'm going to be doing, it'll come out, I'm going to be doing some Elmer's glue. I am going to put, because I'm kind of not impatient, but I want it to dry now. Like, I don't know if that makes me impatient or not, but I'm gonna glue it with some hot glue. And once again, we kind of have to do this fairly quickly. Now, even though I did use hot glue, I'm going to put a heavy object on top of this because it does have Elmer's on it and I want it to be nice and dry so that when we hang it, it doesn't fall apart. So I'm going to let this dry overnight, and we're going to also be gluing stuff to the outside edge so it will have more glue and more things to hold it in. So I'll see you shortly. Tomorrow. Alright, it's the next day, so I'm going to take my heavy object off of my heart. Okay, if you need to, I'm just taking my X-Acto knife. Once again, be very careful. And I'm going along the edge, the outside rim of my heart, just because my hearts weren't exactly the same, so I'm just kind of fixing it. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to basically cover it up. But I want it to be a little bit better than it is. As you can see, this heart under here is a little bit wider than these, so I'm just going to cut it off. I'm taking this pink burlappy ribbon. We are going to be putting this all the way around our heart. And don't worry, this is not how I'm going to glue it. I'm just measuring about how much I will need, and then I'm going to be cutting this in half, and it'll make more sense as you watch the video. So I will cut this here. Above where I need to cut it, I am going to mark it. Be sure not to mark your heart, just because this has holes in it and you don't want to mark on the other side on your project. And I also don't want to mark where you're going to see the ribbon once I glue it. So just right above the width of our project, so like right there. And then when I cut, I can cut just under that mark. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. It's kind of hard to see, but I marked it right here. And if you cut a little too wide, that's not a big deal. Taking our ribbon and putting it all the way around our heart to cover up any of the cardboard, and also just to make it look nice and pretty. So you want your ribbon to touch the bottom heart here, this last layer. That's where you want your ribbon to sit. And it is okay if it doesn't reach the very top, Like my ribbon does not cover all of the cork board on the side. And that is totally fine because I plan on putting some ribbon, this ribbon to be exact, all the way around the rim for some more added cute factor. So you don't have to worry that if it doesn't completely reach top to bottom there. So to do this, I'm just going to hot glue it in sections. Alright, so it doesn't matter where you start. However, I'm going to start at the very end just because that sounds like a good idea to me. Just putting a little zigzag of hot glue. And be very careful, obviously hot glue is hot and there are holes in this ribbon, so it'd be very easy to burn yourself. So don't do that. You can wear those little rubber things that go over your fingers, or like I am just using another object to touch the ribbon to the glue. And just slowly go all the way around this with hot glue. Okay, so I have my Mod Podge. Yes, my Mod Podge has seen better days. It is quite old. Had it forever since I was quite young. Anywho, when you get to the center, or like, not necessarily the center, but like this part of the heart, the curves, in the little crevice here, you're probably going to have to pick up the sequences because it's really difficult to do this and get in there. So I'm just going to let them fall on there, kind of press them in. Alright, I decided I was going to take another brush. Because they are sticky, I'm able to pick them up and then just sort of pat it down. This seems to be working a little bit better, but just find whatever works for you. Okay, so that should be nice and sticky all the way around. I'm gonna go ahead and set this where the edges are not affected. Like for instance, on top of like a candle so that it is not touching any of
Setting it
that
on top of
glue.
there.
I'm gonna let that dry at least a couple hours. I'm gonna try to let it dry overnight. I'll put on the screen what I ended up doing. Of course, immediately clean your brushes. Alright, well, while your project is drying, this is an option. I'm taking 2 little pins. It doesn't really matter what color they are. This is just what I could find in my house. But yeah, it doesn't matter what color because you're not really going to see it. I am literally going to take these 2 little hearts from Dollar Tree. It's from this packet called their table scatters, and it just comes with 60 little and a little bit bigger hearts. I'm taking the smaller sized hearts in pink because I think that looks good with our project. I'm going to take a little dab of hot glue onto the back of our pin, and quickly I'm just going to put this right in the center of the heart and press down. I'm going to do the same thing to the other one.
So there you have it. There's 2 customized pins to go on your heart cork board. And I ended up making another one of these, just a heads up, but these are so cute. And yeah, there you go.
So it's actually been drying for like 4 or 5 hours. It's had plenty of time to dry. So I'm just going to go ahead and put another layer of Mod Podge on top of all of the sequences. And yeah, then I'll let it dry again. Alright, I finished going around the whole thing off camera, but I figured you got the idea. So yeah, just go around it and let it dry for, I would say, at least an hour before doing the next step, which is we're going to put this rope ribbon all around it. Okay, so I'm going to take this ribbon that I have from Michaels. I'm just going to go ahead and measure it clear around our project so that I know how much I need to cut off. Alright, well, with this ribbon, I always like to tape it off before I cut it because it is a rope ribbon, so it will just come right apart if I don't do this. So I'm just bending a piece of tape around the rope ribbon as tight as I can. And then I am cutting a little bit more than I probably need, just because I always do that to be on the safe side. And then taking my scissors, I'm just cutting in between that tape that I just put on my rope ribbon. This will hold the rope together. And yeah, so now we can just begin gluing with our hot glue.
Taking my rope ribbon, I'm just starting at the center of the heart, and I did end up, as you will see later on, I cut off a little bit too much of my rope, so I ended up not having enough. So be very careful to measure the correct amount that you need for going all the way around the heart. But with that being said, if you somehow do the same thing I did, I'll show you how to fix it later on. But anywho, begin gluing your rope and go all the way around your heart.
So taking one of these larger hearts from the scatter hearts from Dollar Tree, I am basically cutting out the bottom half of this heart. So forming a triangle. And then I'm going to cut out another triangle out of the bottom half. Alright, so I'm going to be gluing one just right over the mess that I made. Just a small amount of glue.
So next, I just went back in on the very top, right underneath where we just put that little embellishment in the crease of the heart. I just put some more Mod Podge and some more sequins in any spots that had any openings. I just wanted to make it look all nice and pretty, but my camera did not capture me doing that, so I wanted to tell you that I had done that.
Alright, this next step is totally optional. You can get another one of these wooden hearts from the Dollar Tree, which is what I did. I have another one. And I'm going to cut off the red string. And then I am going to stick my string through that hole. Alright, now that I got those through, I'm going to take a small dab of hot glue for each one of those. Alright, that's just so that they're nice and flat. I've got my Elmer's glue here, and I'm going to glue this onto the back just the same way that we glued one onto the front, basically. Grabbing my heavy object. I'm gonna let this sit here for a couple hours and then it'll be done and I'll show you the finished product.
So here is the finished DIY Valentine's Day cork board in a heart shape. I think this is so great because it could be an adorable gift to give someone or just really cute decor for your own space. You can write little love notes or even just, hey, dinner's in the microwave. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is Miss Alley Cat DIY signing off.